One. All right. I love being in the green room. There's nothing like being behind the scenes and having these private, intimate conversations. So thank you, Sunil. Did I get it right that time?
Yes, you got it.
Thank you so much, Sunil, for being on. I appreciate it. Quick question for you, man. How are you remaining consistent during these times, man? These are uncharted waters. I mean, we're in times we've never seen before. What are you doing with your day? How has your schedule been impacted?
Well, the schedule, my schedule is still busy right now. In fact, I'm more busier than I was before. But what's changed is everything that I was doing live events, and now it's being what we're doing right now, which is digital. I'm in Toronto and you're in California, and we're doing this wonderful interview. And so number one thing that I'm doing is actually making sure that I am happy, that I am healthy, that I am doing things that is going to make me feel good. My to have the immune system that I need, for example, is also more stronger than before in the light of coronavirus. So the main thing to understand is that there's nothing more important on the planet than you, than your health and your happiness. And the biggest issue about people getting ill sometimes is actually not even the coronavirus, it's the fear of the coronavirus, the panicking of the coronavirus. So I'm looking after me and spending time with my family, calling my mom every day and making sure she's good, calling my family on video calls and making sure they're good, calling my clients, my buddies, my friends, and doing the video calls and just saying, hey, how are you doing? How are things with you?
Yeah, yeah. And you talk about the spirit of collaboration. You talk about calling folks. Take a moment and talk about Dr. Obama kind of connected us together. And I know we're going to get in the conversation. We're kind of behind the scenes. Some people don't believe in collaboration. There's the lack of scarcity in their mind. So they're like, well, I don't want you to know who my secret group is. And you stay away from my group and maybe I'll learn yours. Why is now being open to collaboration and sharing resources more important than ever before?
Well, actually, collaboration is actually the secret to my success, whether it was when things were great, whether the market crashes, or whether what's happening right now. I mean, look at it this way. You and I wouldn't have connected and do what we're doing right now if it wasn't for Dr. Obon, for example. And then, he's part of my mentoring program, and I help him get onto stages. I'm helping him monetize his business. And then one day he says, you really need to be on Shay's radio program. Now, collaboration to me is simply this. When I buy real estate, which is what I'm really known for, there's one reason that it makes a lot of money. It's not because of anything else, but the fact is I'm able to go borrow money from a bank, for example. I don't need all the money to do that stuff. So it's the credibility, it's the outreach. So in the world of real estate, it's the money. In the world of business, it's the relationships. So for example, there are a number of people that are online social media with you, and there are a number of people who follow me. And then now with our collaboration, they're winning. The bottom line is we want to make sure the end person who's listening to this, they're winning. And so you get a guest like myself to talk about it, and I get an exposure that I wouldn't have had if it wasn't this collaboration we have. So, and today's world, collaboration is more important because now we're doing it digitally. So how do you reach out to more people? How do I reach out to more people? I'm going to talk about later on about how did my events business has been impacted, but then what am I doing to actually monetize? Like I said before we started, you asked, how I'm more busy. I'm more busy today. Like my entire calendar today is busier than before, but it's just slightly different because the amazing part is that there are going to be majority of the people on the planet who are going to be fearful and they're not going to make money, majority of them. But then there are few people who are going to be very wealthy. They're going to help a lot of people. And I'm hoping the people who are listening to us, they're not the regular people. Mm-hmm. They are the people who say, you know what, I want to go out and make some changes now. I want to change the world. And at the same time, the business grows. My entire real estate business made millions of dollars after the crash of 2008, 2009. Mm-hmm. And this, if people do it correctly, this might be the best thing that could have happened to entrepreneurs. Now, I don't want to take away the fact that we have coronavirus. I don't want to sound like we are mean people. All I'm saying to you is people your clients need you more than when things were normal. So you need to now pivot. You need to change a little bit of things that we're going to talk about a little bit later on, is how am I pivoting? How am I monetizing? And how am I really changing the world? Because at the end of the day, we're here on this planet to serve. And at the same time, when you serve, and if you are able to monetize it, that's business.
I like that. Serve, monetize, and that's business. For Darlene Brown that's out there, for Joyce that's out there, for Sharon Green Middleton that's watching right now, Robin is joining on, Daphne, Eric Jones, so many of them are tuning in right now. We're behind the scenes. We're in the green room, by the way. I didn't know he was going to start off like that, my man. You just came right out the gate. We're going to talk about how you're pivoting in your business. You shared the stage with folks like Grant Cardone, which you're lined up for, Kevin Harrington. You wrote a book with Brian Tracy. So much that he's done. Look, we're going to kick off. Do me a favor. Every one of you right now, hit the share button. You have my permission and you have Sunil's permission as well to hit the share button. And when you hit the share button, just write down, it's my time. Hashtag Sunil. Just put, it's my time, because according to what he's saying, it's your time to build your wealth. It's your time to get your health right. It's your time to start your business. But he says something very important. I got to get going to give me the signal. It's your time right now to serve someone else. And they need you more than other. And that's one of the reasons here right now. So hit the share button, hit the watch party button, do it right now. And as I go to get us kicked off, look right below the video and write these words. Today is my January 1st. It's going to come true for you. We'll be back in less than 60 seconds. We got to get going. We got a show. Sunil, this is all I get to do. In 5, we're going to kick off. 4, 3, 2, 1. It's showtime. We'll be back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, to really officially get going. I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome back to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue focused late night show in the country, where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I believe you have 3 visions, by the way. And this is what Sunil is here to help you with. 1, you got a vision for yourself, the way you want to live, the clothes you want to wear, the car you want to drive, the health you want. You got a vision. Secondly, and to execute that vision, it takes revenue. That means to get the resources. Second vision you have is you have a vision for your loved ones. I'm so blessed that I have Mother Dear. She's still here. I'm able to send her groceries because she won't let me in her house right now. And that's a topic for another time. Take it to her doorstep. Order what she wants. Some of you want to write a check for someone's health care. Some of you want to write a check for your community right now. It takes resources. That means it takes revenue. Sunil, I'm going to ask him about that. And then some of you have a third vision. You have a vision for the people you were called to serve. Now, whether you're a believer or not, I happen to be a believer, but in the book, there's this guy named Noah. And imagine if Noah shows up and he has this big vision like you have. He's so excited. And someone says, Noah. He says, what? There's no hammer. Oh my gosh, there's no resources. Noah, there's no nail. Huh? What? How are we going to do this? Noah, there's no team and there's no wood. the ark can never get built. Some of you have businesses that you're ready to get off the ground and you need resources. Well, I'm going to ask Sunil, how do you pivot during these times? How do you do that so you have all the resources? So, Sunil, let me first welcome you aboard to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. How are you, my man? You're in Canada and I'm here in Washington, D.C. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm doing wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Hey, man, I know you might think the world knows who you are because you've been on these mega stages. Kevin Harrington mentions your name. You know, you're going to share a stage with Kevin Hart and all the cool guys. But do you mind just stepping back for all those folks like Eric Ehrlich, my good friend is out there, Dr. Kim Warren Martin, who's out there, Jacqueline Fulton, and so many folks. Take a moment and just tell them a little about who are you and a little bit about your backstory. And then I'm going to pivot right into what's happening now.
Awesome. So I was born in India, and we used to live in a one room of 200, 300 square feet, a room where 5 of us would be living in that room. That was our bedroom. That was our kitchen. That was basically everything. And we were so poor that we would rent as paying guests if somebody had a 2-bedroom apartment, and we would rent one room, share the washroom with the landlord, and all that kind of stuff. And my father was a factory man. He worked really, really hard. And then, I grew up with all these idea about the rich people being bad and all that kind of stuff. I moved to Toronto, Canada in 1981. And then from there on, I was not the best student. I was told that I was not going to amount to anything. Money is root of all evil and all that kind of upbringing. And if you want to be wealthy, you need to get a good grades. You got to study. If you don't have a degree and all that. And I was not a good student, so I had a tough time growing up. And then in 1990, I became a police officer in Toronto. And I went from being a uniform officer, then I became a police detective. Then I became a police negotiator, and then finally I became a platoon commander. And while I was doing that, I was married and we had 2 children. And my wife one day came to me and said, "We're having a divorce." And I thought everything was cool. And she said, "We're going to have a divorce." And then basically I went and looked at all my friends who were police officers. And I found out that most of them, I realized at that time, most of them did not have the best lifestyle. I mean, we have officers who are protecting the community, but their own life was not the best. And so I used to say that my family is more important than my profession. And what I found was actually I was saying one thing, but actually doing another, opposite to what I was saying, which meant if I planned something with my wife and children, and then the police department called me up and said, "We have this special case, you want to go?" I would just be out the door without even talking to my wife, almost pretending that we had no plans whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And so it went on for many, many years. We had 2 children. And finally, my wife said, "Look, we're going to have a divorce." And I said to myself, no, I'm not going to. No, I don't want that. It's important to me that I stay with my family. And so I decided to let go of the profession that I loved so much. And I was there for about 15 years in police force. And I took a leave of absence, which was amazing. It's an unpaid leave of absence in the first year. And what happened was I looked at every business show. I looked at vending machines. I looked at any show that showed up, live event that showed up about money. And what I found was finally one day I opened up a newspaper, and there's this guy named Robert G. Allen. And he says, "You can buy properties, nothing down." I'm like, "What?" Yeah, and as a police officer, I'm like, "Oh, this is crazy. This is BS," and all that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, that newspaper came back into my lap later on. I went to his course, paid $5,000 for it, and that course changed my life forever. I bought and sold 77 properties the first year alone. I ended up making $980,000 that one year. And what happened was I was a shy guy. I was like, shy all my life. If somebody had told me many years ago, go on the stage for 30 seconds and say something nice, I would just melt to the ground. Like today I speak in front of thousands and thousands of people around the world. I've shared stages with Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, and some of the big boys and big girls of the world. But in those days, you couldn't put 5 people, 10 people in front of me and I couldn't speak. And so When I bought and sold 77 properties, I would have like media call me up and say, hey, we want to know what you're doing. And I used to hang up on the media because I didn't want to talk to them and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up doing really well. And then one day somebody said to me, we should open up a real estate club. And I was, a real estate club? What the hell is a real estate club? Where people come in, they network and they do business and then they learn. I said, okay, well, who's going to teach them? They go, you. I'm like, no. I don't know. So I had no idea what real estate club was and all that kind of stuff. And then people who made money with me kept asking me to open up a real estate club. And one day I decided to open up a real estate club. This is now called Private Investment Club. And I opened it up about 15 years ago. And now it's become the most elite real estate club in North America because all our members, they pay $5,000 to become a member of my real estate club. And the idea is, how do you become wealthy in real estate? So we got millionaires and multimillionaires as part of the deal. And the whole idea here is, how do you learn and network and do to become wealthy? And so over the years, I went from real estate to business coaching, as well as if somebody says, hey, Sunil, I like to share stage with Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Robert Allen, Kevin Harrington, Grant Cardone, or some of these people. We're bringing Dr. Deepak Chopra as well and Dr. John Gray at the same time. I now have contacts, connections to get people onto these big stages to do that kind of stuff. And so today, these kind of times that we're going through has a huge impact on my business because I was all about live events, and our goal at Private Investment Club is to make 100 millionaires and multimillionaires, and we already made several of them already. And the way I help them is several ways. One, help them get on stages so people get to know them. Two, real estate, and three, if they are mentors and coaches, how do you really monetize what you love and what you want to teach?
I love how you said that so humbly, my man. Take a moment for those folks that are out there watching right now. Do me a favor, hit the share button, hit the watch party button, pay this message forward to another entrepreneur who wants to be paid more for what they know than they can do, for someone else that wants to be in real estate and really want to learn how to do that business, but also for another entrepreneur that wants to learn about collaboration and the power of that and how you work together. Everything that I've heard Sunil say, he never said, I put on my Batman cape, by the way, and I put on my gear and I went and did it myself. I'm hearing he interacted with other folks. Sunil, if you will, I want you to take a moment and talk about how you started these type of collaborations, and then we'll talk about your business that you're in now that I'm not gonna say it's collapsed, but certainly it's changed. You're about to do a big event with Grant Cardone and it was set to go. And I talked to Dr. Obama about a month or so ago, like, I'm gonna be here, Shay. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And then things have changed. Before we do that, for those folks that are tuning in, he's very humble. I just wanna give you a little preview of who he is. And when he comes back, I want him to talk about power collaboration, how he found himself with folks like Brian Tracy and Kevin Harrington and others in this collaboration, working together. Let's go ahead and tell him who he is in just a second. We'll be back. And
here today, we have Sunil Tulsiani, founder of Private Investment Club.
You need to be hanging around people like that, like him, so that you can learn to think and act the way millionaires act.
He's an amazing friend, an amazing mentor and coach.
As I said in my seminar, it ain't bragging if you've done it. What Sunil can do is can give you advice based on his own experience that will save you years of hard work.
That's what his vision is, to make 100 millionaires.
You need to come and be part of this and use the resources, because it's not just you. You've surrounded yourself with all kinds of people in various aspects of the real estate world, the motivational world, the take a risk world, if you will.
Yes.
Sunil Tulsiani is a former police officer turned real estate mogul who has bought and sold over $100 million worth of real estate. He's been referred to by the media as the wealthy cop. Sunil is a #1 best-selling author, an internationally renowned public speaker who's been featured on Fox Business News, CNBC, Bloomberg News, CP24 TV, the Toronto Star, and the covers of several national magazines. He's shared stages with Robert G. Allen, Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Ron Lee Grant, and many other real estate legends. He's been called the Tony Robbins of the real estate world. Please give a warm welcome to your speaker, Sunil Tulsiani.
I love that, man. The Tony Robbins of the real estate industry. Big words, man. A lot of key folks. You got Oprah in there and so many folks along the way. You weren't bragging. I wanted them to see that because I wanted them to see a little more, not just hear what you were saying, but I wanted to kind of give them a visual representation. Take a moment and talk about that journey to get there and be able not only to work with folks that we've just seen in the video, but also to work with everyday folks as well. I mean, you do both so well.
Thank you. I would say that the bottom line is that my growth is just one thing, and one thing which is serving others. As I said, my goal is to make 100 millionaires. When I started, my goal was to say, okay, how do I get this person to benefit from what I'm doing? That's really the #1 focus. When I started, when I was not very wealthy, for example, I used to say that to people because I read it in the books, but I really didn't believe it. The idea of actually be of service was a great idea, but it wasn't until I implemented that idea where it's like, how do I serve this person? How do I serve these people? How do I get my investors to make money? How do I get this person to get what they want? And that's really how I grew at the end of the day. So whether it was a real estate, whether it's public speaking, whether it's consulting, coaching, or any type of business, at the end of the day, it is you're here to serve. And if you truly believe it and you do it from your heart, money will come to you. I mean, you still need to make money. You still need to have strategies. You still need to have a business skills. No questions about that. But the intent and the heart has to be there to serve. Biggest thing is to serve and stuff like that. So when I started, I did not know it's called collaboration or anything like that. When I started, it's like joint venture partners. That's collaboration. It's collaboration. So somebody who comes to me and says, Sunil, I have a good deal and I had some money. I'm like, well, why don't we do a joint venture together? I'll give you the money, lend you the money, and then you do all the work and we split the profits. And then on the same thing, I did the reverse as well. And so I've been doing thousands and thousands of collaborations because without that, you could not do one thing. Because collaboration really is, it's normal in the business world and the real estate world, which is leverage. Mm-hmm. I mean, leverage, if there was no leverage in real estate, it would not be as sexy as it is right now. People would not make that much money because if you buy a $100,000 house, you put $20,000 down and then $80,000 comes from somewhere else or bank or whatever. So that means $20,000 bought you $100,000. That's a leverage. But in the world of collaboration, it's also a leverage. Now I'm leveraging credibility. Mm-hmm. I'm leveraging relationships. I'm leveraging the fact that there are folks out there that do not know you and I yet. And this is a collaboration where they'll get to know each other. If we're not in the world of lone wolves, okay, it doesn't work anymore. We started out with being, completely dependent with our extended family, and then we went from dependency to straight to independent. Like, I'm just going to be independent. I don't need anybody. But the real magic is interdependence, right? I mean, when I was growing up, my family would say, if you're going to do something, do it yourself. Be a man. Do it yourself. And I want to tell you something that collaborating, helping, doing joint ventures, and working together is the secret to grow. It's just unbelievable that most people if I was to lose everything today, and you would ask me how do I come back, it's partnerships. It's basically partnerships. I could try to do it one by myself, Or I can go to somebody and say, hey, what do you need? What do you need? Well, I need this. Great, let's do it. And then how do we make money together? This is how we make money together. Great, let's do that together. And so the whole point here is whether it's right now, and it's more important that we do it now because we're doing it from a digital space model. We're not meeting people right now. So it's more important that we do this. And the advantage of that is that you are in Washington, I'm in Ontario, Canada, and we could be serving people.
Yeah.
And also it almost not forces, but almost somebody from above is directing me and you and others to say, hey, there's a digital space that you can be on. And if this coronavirus wasn't around today, I would have been still be doing things that I did in the past. I wouldn't be doing these interviews as much as I'm doing. So I believe that it is a divine intervention and a connection to be able to say, okay, you said you want to do it for a long time. You said you're going to write books. You say you're going to do your course. You say you're going to put it on digital. You haven't done it for a lot of these years. Let's do it now. Let's do it now. Now you say you have no time. Well, guess what? You got time now.
You have all the time you need. But do me a favor if you would. I know later on you're going to have a gift. So for everyone that's watching right now, one of the things that Sunil brought to the house, by the way, is he have a gift that he's going to give you. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't need no credit card. Just like he's here right now. Before we got started, he didn't ask for a Cash App payment. He didn't say, send me a wire transfer. He said, Shay, I'm here to serve. Do me a favor. Look right below the video. Look right below the video. If you're watching on the podcast or listening on the podcast, you can still do this. Just put, thank you, Sunil. Just put, we appreciate you, Sunil. Just put, great job, Sunil. Just do that right now. That's a digital applause for us to say thank you. We normally wait till the end to do that, by the way. But we're going to do it right now in the middle because he's given so many golden nuggets. I didn't even know what's going to happen, by the way. He said, Shay, well, let's just have a conversation, man. Let's hang out. And thank you again to Dr. Obam for connecting us together. Yes. He has a heart to give and a heart to serve as well. Just a great guy. Dr. Obam, if you're watching, we certainly appreciate you. Take a moment, if you will, and let me just address the elephant in the room. You were set to have this huge event with Grant Cardone, big name, by the way. Kevin Hart, big name, by the way. Kevin Harrington, big name, by the way. And Sunil, big name, by the way. And the stadium was going to be filled, right? And it was ready to go, and it collapsed. Not only it collapsed, things are shut down until we don't know when. Take a moment and tell us what's been going through your mind, how you're dealing with this pivot at this moment in time. If you don't mind, we can just take a moment to talk about that because that's some serious stuff.
Of course. So just so people know, that kind of production at the Thompson Hall in Toronto is over $1 million production, and to have something like that, and it also requires. We have 7 people that work in the office. It requires a lot of time, energy to put this together, to make this happen, and to have. Over 2,000 some odd people sell the tickets to make that happen. And so we were on a go on a different energy level when this happened. And then we had to make a decision. I had to make a decision. We're going to stop. We made a decision before we were told we couldn't have it because we realized that this was not a good idea. So I think the initial is a shock. It's a shock. Meaning that everybody was looking at it. They were like waiting for one of the biggest event that's happening. We got Grant Cardone, Kevin Hart. We had comedians. We had the show. We had entertainers. We had everybody coming in. It was an edutainment event that was happening where we would have had millionaires and multimillionaires. People had lined up their own events after that. I had some of my mentees who were going to speak on that stage in front of this humongous 3-floor stadium audience and all that kind of stuff. And they were going to help a lot of people. And people who were coming there, they wanted to build their $1 million business or multi-million-dollar businesses. So initial issue was, we have to cancel it. And the momentum slowed down. And then shortly thereafter, we found out that obviously this is going to be a longer issue than, hey, let's just move it for another month or 2 or whatever it is. So I spoke to my good friend Robert Allen. I spoke to recently Kevin Harrington, and I spoke to Jack Canfield. These are my mentors, And some of them, I was blessed enough to mentor eventually Robert Allen, who was my mentor, and Brian Tracy, who's also my mentor. And then finally the idea was, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing with your business and all that stuff? Because for me, I canceled maybe 20, 25 speaking gigs in the next 6 months. So it's my own event, but then I had all these speaking gigs that I go speak around the world, and I had to cancel all of those ones. So I am financially doing very good. The issue is that when you line up all these speaking gigs and monetization model and the expenses, now you in your mind, this is what's supposed to happen, and then boom, stops. Mm-hmm. And a lot of my mentoring students are also, and my members are also in situations where, wait a minute, my cash flow stopped. What do I do? What do I do? And so basically after one day of saying, okay, what do I do? Not a pity party. It was more so, what do I do differently? What did I do differently? Because I know that there are two groups of people. Group number one is going to be scared, fearful, say that's it, I'm done. There's no money. I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to go bankrupt, blah, blah, blah. The group number two are the people going, wait a minute, is this the best opportunity of my life? Am I being presented an opportunity to serve more people on the planet that are in need right now more so than ever? And if so, how can I place myself in front of those people? How can I attract those people? How can I get them? What do they need? Mm-hmm. What do they need? Well, they need cash flow. Okay, so how does Sunil help people get cash flow in the times where we can't hug, we can't meet, and all that kind of stuff in person? How do I do this? And stuff like that. So that is the important. So what happened with that was, first of all, it was psychological, emotional ride, which was like, whoa, this is going to happen, and all that kind of stuff. And more so, management of my employees and my partners was more important at this time. Management there, meaning they were emotionally invested, financially invested. They've been working on it. They knew a lot of people who are coming to the events, because most of our attendees were not just a number. My team knows them by their first names, most of them. And so it was like they felt like depressed, and it was like me coming up and saying, by the way, we are going to, it's a Thursday night, I remember, week before Thursday. And I said, we're going to have to not cancel it. We're going to postpone the event. And I remember looking at the faces of my employees and especially the three ladies who were like heavily invested, emotionally invested into this. And they're like, oh, what are we going to do? And I saw that. Then I went back to my office. And 5 minutes later, I came back and I said, oh, by the way, we're going to go celebrate. We're going to have lunch together, all of us. And you could see on their face, celebrate what? What are we celebrating? I said, we're going to celebrate the postponement of this event, because God wants us to do something better, and we're going to do much better. And there's something much better that's going to come out of this. Everybody, we're going for lunch. And we all went for lunch. And during the lunch, I basically said to them, this is what's going to happen. Everything's okay. Nobody's getting fired. Nobody's getting fired. You're going to be with me and all that stuff. You guys have been working really hard. When you need right now, I'm there for you. And then we sat there. We broke bread together, and we came back. And then it's like, take a breather. Okay, how do we now notify our attendees? How do we notify the partners? How do we notify the speakers? How do we notify joint venture, like everybody? How do we notify them? How do we use some of the sort of the ninja skills when we send out an email, our copywriting skills and all that kind of stuff? What do we do? So we kind of went to that, and then after talking to all my friends, I realized we just have to. God's given us more time. I love time. Maybe I need to spend more time with my wife who is, by the way, the long story short, today we're married. We celebrated our 27th marriage anniversary with this original wife. My son is now 25 years old. My daughter is now 19 years old. And now I live in this beautiful home. I wear great clothes, and I have the most amazing relationships, people on the planet. I have friends all over the world, and I plurk. And if people who have never heard of me, and they heard this word called plurk, I want everybody on the planet from now on to plurk. And plurking means you take the word play, and you take the word work, and you combine it together. It's plurking. And what that means is you are doing what you love and making money. Plurking. Doing what you love and making money. Michael Jordan plurked. This is what you want to do. You're not here on this planet to breathe and have food and then die. You're here to make an impact. And at the same time, it's amazing for you to look after yourself. You are the most important person on the planet for you. Start treating yourself that way. And one of the ways to do that is to plurk. And plurking is a way of my life right now. It just means that you have the relationships. It means you have the time. It means you have a family. It means you have a place where you want to live. It means that you can drive the car that you want to drive, wear the clothes that you want to wear the watch that you want to wear. It's okay for you to want these things, by the way. It's okay for you. In fact, it's awesome to have it, because in order for me to help others, I need to be the example. If you want to be healthy, and I'm a health coach, you got to look at me and say, is this guy healthy or not? And if you want a wealth coach, you got to say to yourself, is this guy wealthy or not? And so in order for you to help others, be the person that you tell people to be. It's very important that you do that. Otherwise it's not a true mentoring. I mean, there are places where you can be a coach. You read a book and then you teach people how to lose weight. That's a different level. But what I'm talking about to our audience right now is that if you want to teach people how to do copywriting, like, you know, before when Obama introduced us, I went onto your website and I watched one of your I watched one of your videos where you were talking about NLP and sales copy versus, copywriting and all that kind of stuff. That is what you were doing. You were telling people to do what you're doing, and you were teaching them in that video how you were doing it, but then you were also showing that you know what you're doing. So the whole point here is be the person that you want and you tell people to be. If you tell people to have cash flow, then go out and make lots of cash flow. If you tell people to become millionaire or multimillionaire, go make millions. And if you are not making millions, go make the first $10,000 and $50,000 and $100,000 and all that kind of stuff. Because if I'm going to be coaching somebody, I need to do what I'm coaching, which is opposite to what we have learned in school. In school, you go there, you study, and then from study, you go back and you start doing things. So, you know, if I'm going to be a history teacher, well, I didn't fight the war. So I'm just going to teach what they taught me, and the way. Now the book is written by somebody with their window, and I'm going to teach from their window when I wasn't there. So that's an example of a lot of people who are not very successful on this planet because they're not adding value. Mm-hmm. They can't add value if they are. So know this. Number one way for you to become wealthy and rich, whether it's cash flow, whether it's millions of dollars, whether it's financial freedom, is to focus on helping people get what they want. And the way you help them is to do your own experience and then learn how to connect with the source. So then, because everything you need, it's out there in the universe. And yes, you have to take action, by the way. I don't mean you just do affirmations, which I believe in. I don't mean you just do visualization, which I believe in. I don't mean only that you only work on yourself mentally. In addition to all that, you still have to take action. You still have to do all these kind of things. And in order for you to stay humble and grounded and helpful, what you need to do is figure out, are you the person who's genius? Or are you connected to the genius? Are you connected to the genius? When I met Oprah said amazing things. She said, I'm a very strong wave in the ocean, but I never forget my power comes from the ocean. Don't forget, your power comes from somewhere. Universe, God, whoever. And you can learn to tap into that. And you'll be amazed how creative you will be. You'll be amazed how helpful you would be. And you'll be amazed how much money you can make.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. You guys have just had one of the best lessons that possibly be given at this point in time. Again, I had no idea. He said, Shay, let's just have a frank and open conversation. I know that you have a gift that we're going to give them in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about today is my January 1st. And then we're going to give a gift that he brought to give all of you, but you don't have to keep it to yourself. You can hit the share button right now. You can hit the watch party button right now. You can put it's time to Plurk. Now, how do you spell Plurk? Tell them how you spell it. Is it P-L-A-Y-W-R-K? Just put the two words together.
I'll spell it for you. P-L-E-R-K, Plurk, P-L-E-R-K. And people ask me, where did I come from? Where did that came from? I don't know. It just came to me and I wrote it. And now it's my word, so I get to spell it.
You can spell it out like that, P-L-E-R-K. Go ahead and do that right Plurk. Now. Plurk. Go ahead and hit the button. It's time to Plurk. It's time to play and to work. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes. We'll talk about today is my January 1st. And he came with a gift to give everybody. And the reason I want you to share this, the reason I want you to put the message right below that it's time to Plurk, because when he gives this away, it's for all of you. And it's going to help bless you for where you are today. One of the things I want to do just in the time we have, I know for many of you out there, you know that we've been on this mission to give away 10 affirmations. We have 12 affirmations. I don't know if you know this, Dr. Sunil. I'm going to call you Dr. Sunil, but Sunil, I know you don't know this, but one of the things that we're doing right now is we have this manifesto, because I believe that everyone should have a manifesto. They should have their beliefs. And so I've had these beliefs for a number of years now. And I said, you know what? Now more than ever, the world needs to see the beliefs that we can share. It's called the Happy Entrepreneur Manifesto. Now, each of you can go get the Happy Entrepreneur Manifesto. Doesn't cost you anything. I'm going to give you the directions right now. And I want you to go get it. I want you to download it because it helps so many of our folks. Now, what are we on? We're on a mission to help 10 million entrepreneurs live a happy lifestyle. Now, you might have your own affirmations. I get that. But I want you to have something in front of you that you can look at every single day, and you're going to have opportunity to go download it. I had a conversation just yesterday with a person, and we were talking about this manifesto. And she said, Shay, I like this one up top. I believe spending quality time with family is non-negotiable. I needed to see that because she's a full-time mom, a full-time entrepreneur, a full-time school teacher now home with the kids, a full-time administrator, make sure you get their homework done. She's also a full-time cafeteria. Shay, I'm doing all this stuff now because of what's happening. Also, I said, well, if you need more time, remember on the other side, there's something called I believe automation is the key to reclaiming my life, which is so true. You can get a 25th hour. The reason I want you to go download this is just one reason. This is what I say every day, and I want to share it with you. And Sunil has summed it up so well, and it's our core belief. And we believe the results that show up in your life are just as important as the results that show up in your bank account. And he said that so many different ways. And how true is that we truly can have it. Let me tell you how to go get it. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to worry about it. You can go over to, make sure I get the right one. You can go over, You can go over right now to www. Text the word, thought I had it up here. Sometimes I have so much stuff going on myself. Text the word right now. Manifesto. Text the word manifesto to this number. Let me give you this number to text the word to so you can have that there in front of you. The word is 202-270-1662. Text the word manifesto. That's not it. Text the word manifesto to 202-270-1662. There it is. You know, you try to have all this technology. Text the word manifesto to 999-3515. They changed it on me. 202-999-3515. Once you text the word manifesto, it's going to take you directly to the site. No cost, no catch, no charge. The reason I want you to have this is I want something to be with you every single day. And I want you to make a commitment. You're going to grab one of those affirmations, and I want you to read that 7 times a day and burn it into your subconscious mind. So once again, text the word manifesto, manifesto, to 202-999-3515. Get the manifesto and pay that message forward to someone else. Right now, I'm going to go over into Kevin Harrington, actually. And he had something to say that I think is very important. You've heard Sunil talk and about these folks, and they said he's some amazing things. And yeah, that's true. But I want to make sure that right now you understand that the proof is always in the pudding. It's never what you say about yourself, it's what other folks are saying about you. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up right now, and then we'll be back in less than 2 minutes. I want you to see this short clip here, just 1 second, and you should have it right there. There you go.
I'm Kevin Harrington, an original shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank in the United States. And just want to tell you about somebody that I've met and I'm doing business with, and the reason why I'm doing business with Sunil Tulsiani. And an amazing story, and it started way back in very humble beginnings. And Sunil was born in a poor family, and he became a police officer in Canada and actually a detective from there. But this is where it got interesting and why I wanted to meet Sunil, because Sunil became an entrepreneur. And coming out of the police force to entrepreneurship is an amazing transformation. And somebody that, like him, that started from scratch doing this and built his business called the Private Investment Club. Now, this is an amazing group of individuals where he's teaching people how to go raise capital, buy real estate, and become successful, become wealthy. And he's actually at this point made many millionaires. So the goal of the Private Investment Club is to make over 100 millionaires. And I think it's just an amazing concept, amazing goal, an amazing entrepreneurial feat. And I know that he's already well on his way into that number. So the story is fantastic. I got involved with him and partnering in some ventures and opportunities to also leverage my skill set from the United States into Canada in helping entrepreneurs learn how to raise capital also. And so it's a 1 + 1 = 5 kind of a situation with Sunil and myself. So I just want to say that I'm excited to be involved with Sunil, and want to say 2 thumbs up. Kevin and Sunil equals a big success. Thank you.
You know, that is so true. That is so powerful. Hearing that directly from Kevin Harrington himself from the Shark Tank, I want them to see where your heart's coming from. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to share that with them. As we're coming down the home stretch, Sunil, we have a mantra here at the Happy Entrepreneur Network. And our core belief is today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. For those folks that are watching and hearing it for the first time, I'm explaining it for those folks that know all about it. Look right below the video. And write those words. Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. What that represents is that any moment throughout the day, you can make a decision. There's thousands of decisions you make, thousands of moments. And in that moment, it can change the trajectory of your life. You either go to the gym or you sit on the couch, right? You either eat hamburgers and French fries or you go get some kale and some broccoli and some celery and some Brussels sprouts. That sounds good. That's pretty good. And that happens. So it's a new start. It's a do-over. It's my past doesn't equal the future. When you hear those words, Sunil, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? What does it mean to you?
Well, I know that most people have their resolution on January 1st. As far as I'm concerned, resolution of January 1st can be done any day, including today, right now. If you wanted to do, if you wanted to write a book, if you wanted to become a coach, if you wanted to start a business, if you wanted to have some sort of a coaching program that you can start digitally, or membership site, whatever it is, you can do it now. Start right now. And the way that I look at it is this: when we're, as I said, number one thing is that we are the most important person on the planet for us, and you must start treating yourself like that before you expect others to treat you like that. So if you think if you know that you are the most important person on the planet, how would you treat yourself? And then once you treat yourself like that, the rest of the planet, the rest of the people are also going to treat you like that. If you beat yourself down and all that kind of stuff, the rest of the people are going to get that message to do that as well. So what I took from my good friend, Robin Sharma, who wrote Monkey Sold His Ferrari, he's the guy who started the idea of 5 a.m. Club. And I took that idea of getting up at 5 o'clock, and then I wrote this book with Brian Tracy. It's called Secret to Wealth, Volume 2. And in this book, I talk about when I get up at 5 in the morning, what rituals do I do? The exercise, the visualization, the affirmation that you talked about, the sessions that I have with Genius up there in the morning every day. How do I spend my first 90 to 120 minutes a day with myself? And what do I mean when I say Genius chair? Well, how do we select that? What do I do once I find that? All that kind of stuff. So today, more than ever, you need to basically make sure that you're looking after yourself. This is called Secret to Wealth Volume 2 with Brian Tracy. You can get it on Amazon. And the main thing to understand is that don't get up in the morning and jump, run, and go all over the place, watch the news, and then say world is falling apart. Or you can do that, or you can get up and say, you know what, I'm the most important person on the planet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend time with me. And I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to, hydrate. I'm going to come back and I'm going to write my goals for today. I'm going to write when I come back from my little walk, after I come back from my walk in the morning, the first thing I do is, what am I grateful for? What are the things that I'm really grateful for? Well, I'm grateful for today's environment, actually. I'm grateful because I get to stay home and relax. I can take a nap. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all the stuff that I have so far. And I name and list all that kind of stuff. So January 1st means to me is there something you wanted to do? Is that something that you've been putting off for a while? Is there something you can do to serve people? Are you using the reasoning that I don't have money, I don't have time, I can't go out, I can't see people? Or can you take those same things and turn it into a powerful process to say, you know what, I don't have the money, but I have the drive, so let's just do it. I can't go see people, but you know what, let's do what Shay and Sunil is doing right now, which is having a conversation thousands of miles away. We're having conversation, we're serving people and doing all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to, if it's okay with you, I had a couple of books. In this book, it's called Secret to Wealth. That's the first one. Here I talk about 7 ways to become wealthy. When I say wealthy, wealth is everywhere in regards to time, energy, health, and money. So how do you do that? Step-by-step process. The number 2, which I told you about, is the 5 a.m. club. What's my ritual? What do I do before I go to sleep? Very, very, very powerful. If there's one strategy that has made me millions single-handedly in the last 3 years, is what's in here, which is getting up early in the morning and then doing those rituals to look after myself so that I can look after my clients. This is very, very powerful. And in regards to real estate, this is a book that I wrote. If people are thinking of buying properties in real estate and they want to learn how to evaluate an area, should you buy in Toronto? Should you buy in the United States? Everything I wrote in there. And lastly, I wrote a book with my friend Robert Allen, who became my good friend, who was my mentor. And in this book, I talk about how did I raise money? Like, how did I raise money to buy all these properties? Because I did not have millions of dollars to buy millions of dollars of money. So books can change your life. Audiobooks can change your life. What you're listening to right now with Shay and the stuff that he's doing, amazing work that he's doing, that alone, listening to this interview, even if you get 1 idea or 2 ideas or 3 ideas, plurking, looking after yourself, monetizing, you need to learn how to monetize, by the way. And if you get 1 idea and this is the good news, by the way, there's a news out there that you can listen to, or you can listen to this news, which is great for you. Some of the other news is poison. This news is great. It's like healthy food, versus junk food per se. And so my January 1st is basically make it any day. Don't procrastinate. Today's the day. Today is the day to say, you know what, enough is enough. I want the best for my family. I want best for my children. I want my children to go to certain school, and it's okay to have money. It's okay to be wealthy. It's okay to have lots of time. It's okay to go through this time where people say it's chaos. And if you are like me, I don't see the chaos. I see blessing. I see blessings all over the place. And my wish for all of you is for you to find your gift and know that connect to your source, so then you are serving the cause through you, and it's okay for you to make money.
Man, perfect. Great way to close up. Now tell them, how can they get the books? Where do they go to get that? I know you showed us the couple books that you had. Where can they go to get those books?
Okay, so all these books that I'm talking about, you can simply go to Amazon and punch in my name and go to get those books. The audio book that I'm going to gift all of you, which is close to my heart and my mission financially for money purposes, and that is to make 100 millionaires. So I have a book with my good friend with Brian Tracy, and the audiobook is called Make a Million. Make a Million. And the idea is, if you want to become a millionaire, or you want to add another $1 million to your business, how do you do that? Go to makeamillion.net. 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 And to get hold of me, just send an email to info@privateinvestmentclub.com. info@privateinvestmentclub.com.
So the site is, I'm going to give you an opportunity. We're going to close in a second. I'm going to give you a site. The site is called makeamillion.net. Let's all open that up. Sometimes these sites don't work. Nothing personal.
Yes.
Nothing personal. So everyone, do me a favor. Look right below the video and type in www.makeamillion.com net. Makeamillion.net. Let's just see if it works. Let's see if it works. Sometimes these things don't work, Well, they verified that it does work. Isn't that just awesome how this thing works? Isn't that just awesome? Take a moment. You told us now. I know we got to go. We're out of here. Go here now. Now, you can pay this forward. He did mention that you don't have to hold it to yourself. So if you're out there right now, you're like, hey, this is not for me, but it may be for a friend. You have Sunil's permission and my permission, obviously, to take the link, makeamillion.net, and you can copy that into your private Facebook group. You can copy that onto your business page. You can pay that message forward. And why would you want to do that? Why would you want to pay this message forward? Here it is. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. We believe in the giver's economy. The person that outgives the competition out-earns the competition. And so you can share that. Makeamillion.net. That's the key part. Makeamillion.net. And go ahead and get the gift. I'm going to go download it. Suggest you go download as well.
Yes.
Look, I know you spent a lot of time with this man. And one thing that we know is that you can always make more money. Every one of them watching right now, I have no doubt you'll make millions and millions. But no one, including Sunil, myself, or all of the folks I know, can make more time. And he's given us the most precious gift he has. So I want to give it to you, man, and just share maybe your closing thoughts or comments. We're going to close out. To those folks that are watching, these lights are going to go off. Through the power of these fiber optic lines, you're going to go do what you got to do, take care of yourself and your family and people you support. And I just want you to leave whatever thoughts or comments are on your mind. You don't have to do it, but sometimes I like to ask folks if they'll give their closing comments. So I'll turn it over to you. Once again, let me say thank you to Dr. Obama for connecting us. Let me say thank you for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You have a heart to give. You have a heart to serve, and we appreciate you. Over to you, my man.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for having me. The only thing I would say to you is that I've been where my family had no money. I've been where I was a middle class, and I've been where people consider to be extremely wealthy. And I can tell you, growing up, people told me that money's not important, and I've experienced all three phases of my life. And I can tell you that having money is actually a good thing. It's actually a really, really good thing, because money can actually make you good or make you bad. There's poor people who are bad and there's rich people who are bad. And if the problems come, these issues come, I'd rather have money. So then money is a resource. It's just a resource to get my family what I can get them, to protect, to get the proper shelter, food. If you want to eat organic food, you want to go to a certain seminars, you want to invest with Shay, you want to invest in some sort of program, you want to do that's what money does. It's a resource that we all need in the modern society to serve and do what we need to do. And I want you to make money. I really want you to become wealthy. I want you to do that. And if there's any questions that you have and anything that you want to ask or do anything like that, please leave a comment in this interview, wherever Shay puts this up. And I promise to look at it personally. And I promise to respond to you personally as well. Because at the end of the day, my mission is to make 100 millionaires and multimillionaires. And I want you to know that it's not just because of the fact that I was poor once and I'm wealthy. It's because I just love seeing people and their lives change when they have resources to help themselves and then, more importantly, help the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. For everyone out there, do me a favor, look right below the video, and write these words. Today is my January 1st. You can make $1 million. Today is my January 1st. You can plurk. I never heard that before. Plurk. I like that. I didn't know that. That was a surprise. But you can plurk. So go ahead right now and put today is my January 1st. Why? Because for you, the best is yet to come. You're already a champion. Only champions show up. You're already a winner. Only winners are here. And I know for you that the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. So with that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long, but life is short. Enjoy the moment and make the most of it. With that being said, God bless you. I'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, Sunil. You rock, man. I appreciate you showing up. You're a rock star. I can't wait to come to Canada and see the show, though.
Of course you're coming.
One day. Now, I told Dr. Bob. I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there. And they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Yeah. Thank you. God bless.